Hey guys, I am so excited to be back with yet another TCB masterclass, and today we're going to be talking about how you can use Pinterest to skyrocket your blog's traffic. Now, what the heck is the deal with Pinterest? So many bloggers and online entrepreneurs are talking about Pinterest, saying it's this crazy search engine driving traffic to their website, and really, if you're not on Pinterest, you have to be. So, what the heck is the deal? Well, a lot of people think of Pinterest as a social media platform. And for a while, that's the way it was viewed. It was just like a Facebook or an Instagram or a Twitter. But over time, it's turned into being looked at as a search engine. People don't go on Pinterest and be social with each other. They don't reply to each other's posts and write comments here and there. That's not how it works. Instead, you go to Pinterest when you are looking for something. I've been using Pinterest since I was in high school, so it has been a long time. And I've always used it to look up tattoo designs or fun home decor ideas or recipes are one of my favorites. I've also used Pinterest a lot to research things within my business and learn more about digital marketing and blogging and social media. I use it to find bloggers that I thoroughly enjoy. And over time, Pinterest has really helped me in return to grow my blog business. Pinterest actually sends me over 3,000 new users to my website every month, and it's actually my #1 source of traffic. You can see right there, that's actually a statistic from my Google Analytics. And in 30 days, this is just within 30 days, I took this screenshot from Pinterest Analytics, and it shows you that just these top 5 blog posts, just these top 5, have received over 200,000 impressions, over 2,000 clicks, and over 900 saves, almost 1,000 saves on Pinterest, just in 30 days. So that's not over an accumulation of since that pin was created. That is just over 30 days how these pins have been performing for me. So yeah, I would say that Pinterest is a pretty big deal, and I credit it a lot to my success as a blogger and definitely to the success of me being able to drive traffic to my blog and grow my page views each and every month. So it all starts with your Pinterest profile. I'm going to walk you through some of the best practices that you need to know and how you can start using Pinterest to really drive traffic to your blog and to your website so that you can ultimately grow your blog and website into a money-making machine. The first thing you need to do, if you don't have a Pinterest business account, you need to go ahead and get yourself a Pinterest business account right now. It's typical that a lot of bloggers start their Pinterest as a personal account and transition into a business account. That's exactly how I did it. I had a Pinterest account for, I'm not even sure how many years, but it was several years, maybe 5+ years when I realized that I wanted to convert it into a business account. And it's very simple to do. All you have to do is follow this checklist right here. I have it available for you guys to download down in the description bar. So go ahead and download this checklist if you want. If you can read it right here, go ahead, pause the video, read it, and follow through the instructions. If you already have a Pinterest account, really the main thing you need to do is go to www.pinterest.com/business/convert. And then you also want to verify your website. So this checklist walks you through how you can verify your website because really that's going to help you so that you can get rich pins. So what are rich pins? Rich pins, I like to refer to them as basically pins with titles, but they also have a lot more information and they perform the best on Pinterest. How do you apply for rich pins? 1, you get a Pinterest business account like we just talked about. 2, you have to verify your website domain. And 3, you have to apply for rich pins. I'm actually going to walk you guys through the process of verifying your website domain right now and how you would apply for rich pins. So let's go ahead and jump over to my test Pinterest profile. So I'm back now. I ended up logging in to my test Pinterest profile. So this I honestly don't have anything for. This is just what I use to test and demonstrate for you guys. And then I'm also logged into my WordPress dashboard. So if you have a WordPress.org website, go ahead and log into your dashboard. That's exactly the process I'm going to show you how you can verify your website through WordPress.org. I hope that made sense. I got jumbled there. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is go to your profile. Yours should have boards and pins and a lot more than I have right now. This is my test site, remember that. So over on the right-hand side, you're going to want to click the settings option. When you click the settings option, this is your Pinterest business profile settings option. So you can set everything you need right in here. This is just not set up, obviously, because this is my tester. So Right down here, there's a claim your website option. If you want, over on the left-hand side, there's also a claim your website option. You can click on that and it will scroll down right here. So if you want to claim your website, you unlock these handy dandy features, which is awesome, but you really want to claim your website for rich pins. So what you're going to do is enter your website domain here. So mine is thecontentbug.com. And then I would just click claim website. A little pop-up will appear, and there's two options for you. So you can add an HTML tag to your website, or you can upload an HTML file to your website. What I recommend is using the adding an HTML tag option. When you click on this, a specific tag will appear. Once you're here, you're going to want to stop, wait, go to your WordPress dashboard, and we're actually going to install a new plugin. So over on the left-hand side, you're going to go to plugins and add new. If you have the tracking code manager, if you've been with me for a while, and if you have verified your Google Search Console through one of my guides and one of my recommendations, then you should already have tracking code manager installed on your website. But I'm going to show you exactly how to get it. So tracking code manager. When you click enter, it should be the first one that appears. Okay, so over here on the left-hand side, it should show you this compatible with Facebook. It is Tracking Code Manager by IntelliWordPress, WP. You're going to want to click, it will say install now. So just like this button here, it says install now. Once you click on that for this option, it will then say activate. You're going to want to click on activate, and then it will turn active just like this. When you're trying to use your Tracking Code Manager plugin, you're going to want to go over here on the left-hand side under settings, and then down here, Tracking Code Manager is hidden right here. So if you ever need to go back to Tracking Code Manager, it's under settings, Tracking Code Manager. Now, I use this Tracking Code Manager for several things. I use it for Google Analytics, Facebook Pixel, Google AdSense, Pinterest, and Search Console verification. What you're going to want to do is go up here, click on this blue button that says Add New Tracking Code. And you're going to create a name. So let's just say this is Pinterest Business. And you're just going to copy your code. So this HTML tag, you're going to want to copy this whole snippet of code from this beginning bracket to this ending bracket. You want to select all of it. So copy it, go over here, and you're going to want to paste it. This whole piece of code, not just the content, the whole thing. And I'm stressing that so much because I've seen so many people just try to share this content, and that does not work. You need the whole snippet of code. Now, this should say position inside before the head. Show only on devices. You want them on all devices. So you shouldn't have to change these two options. And then when you're down here, where do you want this code added? You want this code added as a standard code tracking in your WordPress. And then you want it on your whole website, pages, posts, archives. You want the first option for both of those. And then for this bottom one, you don't want to exclude anything. You want it on every single page. If you exclude anything, you're going to run into problems. And then all you have to do is go ahead and click this save button, and the code will be added to your site. Once you do that, go back to your Pinterest and then go ahead and click next. When you do that, you should have your account verified within the next 24 hours or so. I am back to my normal Pinterest account just to show you guys when your website is verified, you will have a check mark beside your website. It will appear right where you used to enter that, where you entered all that information before. So where you entered your domain and you clicked claim it. Now your website should be there with a check mark and an unclaim option. You never want to unclaim your website. That is kind of an unspoken rule. You guys just shouldn't even bother about that little button there. As long as you have a check mark here, your website is claimed, and now you are ready to apply for rich pins. You can go ahead and just search apply for rich pins in Google, and you will find this rich pins page by Pinterest. The actual domain is business.pinterest.com/en/rich pins. And this will pop up. It will just show you a little bit more about what's going on with rich pins, especially if you are a recipe developer. This is really great to know. Articles, apps. It just gives you a little bit more information than what I already gave you. And you can go ahead and just click add rich pins to your account. When you are here, it's going to show you exactly how you can set up for rich pins. Now, you don't really want to worry too much about all this information. I'm actually just going to give you the link for this validator. So when you are ready to apply for rich pins, you don't need to follow through those steps unless you want to learn more about rich pins. Otherwise, you want to click that validate button or go to developers.pinterest.com/tools/URL-debugger/. And that is going to take you to this validation page. Now, I believe that this button will actually show for you guys saying apply now, like it says here. It says apply now here. But since I am logged into my actual Pinterest account now, I already have my rich pins verified, so this is just proving that it will validate it if I want to run some of my URLs through this option. But since you are applying for rich pins, this might say apply now. Unless it says validate, then you guys are seeing exactly what I'm seeing. All you'll want to do is enter your URL, but you don't want to enter just any URL. Like, you don't want to enter, like, I would not enter thecontentbug.com. I would actually enter one of my blog posts that I have on my website, and I would try to validate that. So you don't want to just validate your home page. You want to check an off page. So it could be your contact page, it could be your about page, it could be a blog post. As long as it's not your home page, that is the page that you want to validate. Now, if your page can't be verified, it's probably because your metadata isn't set up. So if you have a WordPress.org site, you're going to want to make sure that you have Yoast SEO set up and that your metadata is activated. If you have another website, the best way to probably go about it is to contact a website developer or contact Pinterest and see what you can do. I am specific within WordPress.org, so that is always the instructions that I am going to give because I know it and I feel comfortable recommending that stuff to you guys. I would never recommend something that I didn't know anything about. So that is why I stick with this platform. Once you have applied for rich pins, all the technical stuff is really taken care of, and we need to talk about more about your profile and your pins and really how to drive traffic to your website. Like I told you, we were going to be talking about in this masterclass. So the next thing we're going to talk about is your Pinterest profile, and I'm so excited to get to this topic because I freaking love Pinterest, and I'm so excited to just help you guys with your Pinterest and watch it boom over time. There are a few things that you need to pay attention to, and we're going to run through every single one right now. So the first one is your profile name. Over on the right, you can see an image of what my profile looks like, and I circled my profile name. That big block of text that is right up top of any Pinterest profile is your profile name, and I'm going to guess that you already knew that, but I just wanted to clarify it anyways. A lot of people will have very different layouts for their profile name. So some people will just have their name, some people will just have their blog name, some people will have their blog name and their specialty, some will just have their name and their specialty. I have had a variety. And I continue to change my profile name all the time to try to figure out what's working best, what keywords are performing well, and what I can really do to change it to improve my visibility within the platform. And right now, I really like the layout that I have currently, hence why I'm recommending it to you guys. So the layout I use is my first name, Cath, and then I break it with a vertical line. I have the name of my blog, and then I break it with another vertical line, and then I have my specialty there. So I have blog and biz tips to grow your audience. There is a reason that I have it laid out this way. One, I wanted to have my blog name in there because when people are searching my blog on Pinterest, I want to make sure that not only my pins are popping up, but that my profile is popping up. It's great that my pins pop up, but I want people to be able to find my profile and follow me. That's really just a huge push that I have. And for a while, I did not have the content bug in my profile name because I figured, hey, it's in my description. You can see the contentbug.com there. And I also have a board, so people are going to find me either way, but that's not true. If you don't have it in your name, people might find, your board, and they might find your pins, but they might never find your profile if they don't follow through all the steps. So that's why I have the content bug in my name. And then I also have blog and biz tips to grow your audience because there are two important keywords in there. The first is blog and biz tips, and the second is grow your audience. Whenever people are searching for either of those two things, I'm hoping that my profile pops up and that people go to me when they look for that information. So I specifically put keywords in my profile name. The layout of your profile name might be different than mine, but I would recommend having your blog name in there definitely as an extra keyword, and then make sure you have your specialty in there. So if you are a beauty blogger, put beauty blogger in there. If you're a lifestyle blogger, you can just put lifestyle blogger. If you are more specific and you create healthy dinner recipes only, then I would say healthy dinner recipes or vegan eating or something relative to what you do. You would know your keywords better than I would. For me, blog and biz tips to grow your audience is great for my brand. You need to think of your brand. Next, you need to worry about your profile picture. Oh my goodness. A lot of people will have their profile pictures as their blog logo or their blog name, their branding really, and it's just bad news bears. Pinterest is still a social media platform in the sense that people want to see your face. People don't ever want to see a brand logo on social media. Unless it's like Coca-Cola or another well-established brand logo, people want to know you, they want to know the message behind your brand, and they're more likely to follow an image that is friendly. So yes, your profile picture is your first impression, and I highly recommend that it is a picture of you, not a full body picture of you, because you only have this tiny little circle to make an impression. If it's a full body picture, no one is going to be able to see you, really. It's just kind of gonna look like a normal outline of a body. It's not as interesting as like more an up close kind of headshot picture would be. Make sure that it is professional and it is well done, but mainly I'm just trying to get at here, don't have the logo of your blog in your profile picture. It is only hurting you and not helping you. Next, you need to think about your profile description. So the first thing I want to tell you, with a Pinterest business account and with a verified domain, the steps we just walked through a little bit ago, you will automatically have your website domain in bold up top automatically. And if you add your location, you don't have to add your location within the settings option, but if you add your location, that is going to be the first thing that is going to appear before the description. Now, that does not count against you in how many characters you can have in your description, because you can only have about 150, I think, characters in a Pinterest description. So that does not count against you. So if you want to be specific and targeted towards, let's say you're in New York City and you want to target New York City people, followers, keep New York City in your name. It doesn't hurt you. It's actually better for you if you just have a location. It's just one extra way for people to find you. So I recommend that for one. Now, when it comes to actually writing your Pinterest description, your profile description, you want to make sure that you have keywords in there. You want to make sure that you are writing what your audience wants to read, and you want to make sure that you have an extra call to action at the end. So mine says, let me read it out loud to you guys. It says, it's time to stop doubting yourself and follow your passion. I'm here to help you create your success online. Grow your blog with my free courses. And then it says the location of those free courses. So tcbcourses.com. That is where you can find my courses. And I have all of that in there for a specific reason. Again, I have changed this a few times, and I'm going to keep changing it because I want to make sure that I have the right keywords in there. Right now, my main keywords are follow your passion, create your success online, grow your blog. Those are my three main keywords that I have in there that are very specific to what I am trying to do and the audience that I am trying to reach. Now, a lot of other people might have blogging tips in there or grow your audience online, not just grow your blog. But I already have grow your audience in my profile name, and I have blog and biz tips in my profile name. So I try to mix up a little bit what keywords I was using to maximize it. Now, when I say keywords, you don't just want to keyword stuff. So I wouldn't just put in there blog and biz tips, comma, grow your audience, comma, create your success online, comma. That wouldn't make any sense. People are actually going to read this description. It's not like you're trying to just trick the Pinterest platform. You want people to actually read this description, so it needs to be something that's going to be engaging, that your audience is actually going to like. So think about it as a way to draw their attention. So mine says, it's time to stop doubting yourself and follow your passion. And then it's like, okay, what more? Like, what can you tell me? What do you actually do? So it says, I am here to help you create your success online. So it's not only am I saying, hey, what value I offer, I'm also saying who I'm targeting. I am targeting the person that's landed on my profile, because I'm going to guess that the person that automatically landed on my profile is a blogger or an online entrepreneur. I'm saying that because they're looking up blog to biz tips and how to grow their audience online. I could say that I'm here to help bloggers create their success online. That's too many characters for my description, and that's exactly why I didn't go with that. But you should definitely have who your audience is, what you're trying to do, and where they can get started. So my where they can get started is grow your blog with my free courses, and then it shows a link to my free courses right there. Now, to keep moving on, we're going to talk about your boards. We talked a lot about your Pinterest profile. I hope we covered everything you need to know right there, but now we're going to talk about your boards. So the first thing you need to pay attention to in your boards is your board title. Again, you need to make sure that your board titles have keywords in them. So these 9 boards that I'm showing right here, the first one is obviously my blog board, so that has only my blog posts on it. It's just kind of a catch-all for every single blog post. If anyone wants to read my blog post, that's where they would go, is my brand board. And then I have all blogging tips, entrepreneur tips, how to start a blog, blog writing tips, blogging for beginners, blogger income reports, search engine optimization, start a business. I've got a variety of different boards here that are all related to either entrepreneurship online, so online entrepreneurs, and blogging. Those are really the main focus there. I also have search engine optimization, which is also digital marketing as well. So it all falls within my niche, but you need to pay attention to your board titles. My favorite example to use is if you are a food blogger or even a lifestyle blogger and you have a food board, you wouldn't want a food board that says yum yum. That wouldn't make any sense. I had a board that was called Yum Yum when I just had a personal Pinterest account, but that didn't matter then. You want to make sure that your board names are actually describing what you are talking about. So let's say that you are a food blogger or a recipe developer and you share healthy dinner recipes, you share quick and easy dinner recipes, you share dessert recipes, you share lunch ideas. All that needs to be exactly what I said. It needs to be descriptive with the category that it is. You wouldn't want yum yum or love or ideas. It's not descriptive. It's not getting you anywhere. You want to make sure that you actually have keywords in your board titles. Next, you want to make sure that your board descriptions are well written and actually that you fill them out. A lot of people do not fill out their board descriptions. And if you want to take yourself seriously on Pinterest, you absolutely need to do this. This is another place for you to put your keywords so that your boards appear in search because yes, boards do appear in search. It's not just pins. It's not just people, even if you may not have known that people appear in search, but people appear in search and boards appear in search. So you want to make sure that your boards are well optimized, and that means writing a quality description. Again, with your boards, right now they say it's okay that you can keyword stuff with your boards, but I'm just waiting for Pinterest to catch up and say, hey, no more keyword stuffing in our boards. So I like to strategically write out my Pinterest board descriptions with a little call to action at the beginning and then some information what's on the boards with a specific keywords in there. So blogging resources, best blogging tips, all stages of blogging. I mean, you can tell that I am repeating specific keywords in there so that I appear for those keywords. And that's how I write my board description. So you need to fill out your board descriptions on every single board. Always, it's going to help you get visibility on Pinterest. And the last thing you need to worry about is that you actually have board categories. Right now, I'm currently not too happy about the board categories because there's no blogging board category. Why is there not a blogging board category? But within each of your boards, you need to select the appropriate category that helps to filter you through that category. So when people are just randomly searching on Pinterest, they can go to that category explore section and you can appear for that category that you select. So you need to make sure that you always select a category for each of your boards. Next, you need to pay attention to your board covers. Recently, Pinterest changed this where these were all centered and then it got all messed up and I need to redesign my board covers, which is okay. Currently, I was just using the covers or the images of the pins of specific blog posts that I was already pinning to each of those. So that's why those covers kind of look like that. But they recommend creating specific square covers that stay within your brand image. So I like to have it as my pin design. That's why I've always kept it this way. It still looks great if you're on a mobile device. So if you're on your phone or if you're on an iPad, it still looks great. Just on desktop, it's not working correctly. So what I would recommend for you to completely avoid the problem that I am currently having is to create square designs. Any size square design, as long as it's high quality, so you can do like over like 3,000 pixels if you want, 3,000 by 3,000 pixels, and design just a cover image for each of your boards, and all you have to do is pin it to that board, change the cover image. Actually, I can probably show you here. There is this cover change button right underneath that technology that is circled right there. You can go ahead and just click on that and change the cover. So you just want to make sure that it is all similar, it is all alike, it is branded to your brand. You'll look a little bit more professional and people will enjoy it. Plus, it makes you stand out a little bit. It makes you look like you're organized and professional. And it's just better than having someone else's pin as your board cover. You would want one of your own pins or your own design there. Tips to remember. So you want to have at least 20 to 25 of your own boards. I know that sounds like a lot, but with any niche, you can really break up your boards and break it down. Like I already said about the food blogger, I gave you 4 different ideas you could share there. If you are a beauty blogger, you can have a makeup, a hair, and nails. You can have so many different boards there. You can just have a fashion board and a streetwear board and a night makeup and daily makeup, and you can do so much with it really The options are endless. So you just need to create 20 to 25 of your own boards and make sure that one of them is your own board. So like I have the contentbug.com, you guys can see it right there. I have a specific board for just my blog. You want to make sure that you have a specific board for just your blog. And hey, that already takes up one of them. So if you're shooting for 20, you just have 19 to go, and it will be easy. You will figure it out as long as they are niche specific. You need to have at least 50 quality pins in each of the boards. So you can look at my boards down here and you can see that I have over 1,000, I have over 600, I have over 400, over 700, and then my last board actually only has 40. The reason is I just created that board about a week or two ago, and I'm still trying to grow it. So you want to make sure that every one of your boards has 50 quality pins within them. The next, you need to keep all boards active on regular pinning schedule. When I was saying that you need to have 50 quality pins, it's because a lot of people will throw a ton of pins into one board and completely forget about the rest. So I only have 40 in the Grow Your Blog board right now because I am still actively pinning to it. I am keeping all of my boards active at the same time. I'm not just dumping 40 pins in that board and calling it quits. I'm building it up over time, and that's exactly why it has 40. It's going to grow over time, and I bet by the end of this week it's going to have 50 or it's going to have 60. It's just going to continue to grow, but as long as every single one of your boards are staying active, Pinterest will love you. And the last one is to join group boards whenever possible. If you have heard anything about group boards are a big deal on Pinterest, and I actually have a complete guide to group boards and how you can join them, what they are, why you need them, and so much more. So I have a blog post linked in the description bar down below for you guys. Now we're going to talk about your pins. So there are a few things that you need to pay attention to within your pins to make sure that you're really, really driving traffic to your blog, because that is the whole reason that I am here sharing these best practices with you, is that so that you can drive traffic to your blog. That's the end goal. So the first thing you need to pay attention to is your pin titles. Your pin titles, when you have rich pins, are automatically drawn from the titles that you give your blog post, or the headlines that you give your blog post on your website. So this is directly drawn from your website. It is your H1 tag, your heading 1 tag, whatever you say is the post name or the page name, that is where that's automatically drawn. You want to make sure that you're writing a quality headline there that actually gets clicks that people really want to read. Next, you want to pay attention to your Pinterest design. So a lot of bloggers have their own unique template within their Pinterest, have their own unique template for the pins that they share on Pinterest, and you need to have one of those exactly the same as every other blogger does. But what I would recommend is a few things. So I do have a video on how to create Pinterest pins that get more clicks, but I just want to share a few tips with you right now, and if you want to learn more, go ahead and learn more. The first one, you want to make sure if you are using a background, if you're using an image as your background, that you have an overlay over top of it and that your text is easily read. If it is difficult to read, I will never click on a pin that is difficult to read, and a lot of other people won't as well. Your pin is what is most captivating and will get you most people to your website, so you want to make sure that the text is easy to read. If you are a food blogger, you do not want to cover up your food with an overlay. Actually, what you want to do is search Pinterest for other food blogs and look up their design ideas. Recently, they have been doing long vertical pins with an image up top, an image in the bottom, and then the name of their recipe right in the center as just kind of like a block of text with a background behind it. So it's not covering up either image. You want your images to really shine as a food blogger, and you just want to make sure that you have the name on there that is easily read. So don't do an overlay like I do. That wouldn't make any sense for you. But easily read, and then also include your logo or your domain at the bottom somewhere so that you are branding your pins. You don't ever want anyone to steal your pins, so make sure that you are branding your pins. And then let's say you're a lifestyle blogger or a beauty blogger, fashion blogger. What you can do is share your Instagram posts directly from Instagram to Pinterest. You can share any picture you have from your blog to Pinterest. You want to make sure that you're also putting your logo on there. If you don't want to put your logo on there, you don't have to. Just fair warning, your image might get stolen. That's always a concern of mine, especially if you are a food or a fashion blogger. People love to pin those images on Pinterest, and any kind of like lifestyle or just high quality photo is more likely to just be taken. So you have to be very cautious with that, but I would pin directly from your Instagram and draw traffic to your Instagram account pin directly from your blog post, draw traffic to from your blogs, and that's just kind of my recommendation. You obviously wouldn't want to cover it with text like I do. It just makes more sense for the content that I'm creating. So whatever niche you are in, make sure that you are searching Pinterest to see what pins are performing well and kind of draw off their designs. Don't ever steal someone else's design, because then slowly there's just going to be so many copycats out there that you won't stand out. You want to make sure that you stand out and you are getting noticed. Enough with pin design. Let's talk about the description a little bit. I'm going to grab some water. With each pin, you get the chance to share a description. And a little pro tip here, actually, what I want to share with you guys is if you have pins, if you have images on your blog that you want to be pinned on Pinterest, this text, this description is actually taken from the alt text of the image. So within the alt text of the image, you need to write a description for Pinterest. A lot of bloggers don't realize this, and they'll just enter their own description when they go to add the pin to Pinterest. But the thing is what if your readers really like what you're talking about or what you're sharing in your content and they want to pin it? They didn't find you through Pinterest, so they try to create their own pin. And then the description is just the name of the blog post. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not going to help your visibility within Pinterest. So you need to make sure that the alt text of the image that you want shared on Pinterest has the description of what you would want shared on Pinterest. So let me read this description to you guys. For this 5 steps to transform your blog into a full-time business, I wrote, want to learn how to become a full-time blogger? Well, the online world is hard, and creating your success online is even harder. But if you are determined to work hard and chase your dreams, then it's time to learn how to transform your blog into a full-time business in just 5 steps. Learn more about blogging and how to monetize your passion at thecontentbug.com. And then I also have 3 hashtags. One is blogging basics, another one is grow your blog, and the last one is full-time blogger. So there are important keywords in there. To go back to the keyword talk, oh my goodness, I've said keywords so much in this masterclass. I'm honestly not even sure how many times I've said it right now. But you want to make sure that you have keywords within your description. So I have become a full-time blogger. In there, I have creating your success online. I have hard work, chase your dreams, how to transform your blog into a full-time business. I have learn more about blogging. That is actually a keyword, how to monetize your passion. I also have my website in there at thecontentbug.com. So I have a lot of description. I have a lot of descriptions. I have a lot of keywords thrown in my description for a reason. But you want to make sure that you're not just stuffing that with keywords. Recently, since hashtags are back on Pinterest, a lot of people have just been stuffing their descriptions with hashtags. I wouldn't recommend that. Write it like you would want someone to read it. So draw them in with a question. Tell them a little bit more, and then say where they can find out the information. So obviously I want to drive people to this blog post, but I'm trying to draw them in. I'm trying to think in their head, okay, what would they be searching Pinterest for to learn this? And it's probably how to become a full-time blogger. A lot of people want to know how to transform their blog into a full-time business. So if I say how to become a full-time blogger right up at the beginning with a question, it's written in the words that they would directly type into Pinterest, I am more likely to appear in search, and I'm more likely to get traffic to my blog. The next one you need to pay attention to, hashtags. I already shared with you guys that I shared 3 hashtags within this description, but you don't want to overstuff your description with keywords. Like I just said, I recommend sharing 2, 3, maybe 4. I typically go with 3 hashtags at the end of each of my descriptions, and it's just an extra way to add keywords and strategically place your blog posts or your content throughout Pinterest. So don't skip out. Don't skip out on the hashtags. Hashtags are relatively new to Pinterest, or actually I think they were on Pinterest and then they took them off and then they are back. So they have been back for a few months now since I am recording this, and they really do help your visibility on Pinterest. So use hashtags, only about 3 or 4. And the last thing you need to worry about is the first 50 words of your blog post. For a while, I would start each of my blog posts with the disclaimer saying that I had affiliate links within the post. And I would do that because, one, it's abiding by code. You need to legally put that if you have affiliate links in your blog posts or your content, you need to legally put it right where your audience can see it, that you are including affiliate links. And I would do that, and I would go to Pinterest, and I realized that when Pinterest started sharing the first about 50 words of your blog post, I was like, oh my goodness, the first thing that people see is this post contains affiliate links. I was like, this is not helping me to grow my Pinterest. This is not helping me to drive traffic to my blog. What can I do? Well, I found a way around it. Now my disclaimer is a little bit lower in my blog post. It's still right in the first section. It's still in the introduction of the blog post, but it's not the very first 50 words. So now I write my blog posts like I am writing a description within Pinterest. I want to start out with a bang. I want to call them in from the get-go because I know the first 50 words of your blog post now appear on Pinterest. So my first 50 words say, transforming your blog into a full-time business is no joke, and it shouldn't be something that's taken lightly. If you are a beginner blogger or someone who's ready to take their blog to the, and then it says next level, but it goes ... and it goes off. And in there, I include specific keywords again, so transform your blog into a full-time business. I also have beginner blogger in there, and take your blog to the next level. I was hoping would appear, but no big deal. It's just kind of about 50 words. You need to pay attention to the first 150 characters of your blog post. Make sure that it's really captivating, but any blog post you write, the first snippet, the first paragraph you write needs to be captivating. It's what's going to keep people there. A lot of people will just click on a title and scroll the whole way through if the intro isn't exciting. So you need to make sure that the intro is exciting and it calls their attention. The last tip I want to give you guys, it appeared when I clicked and number 5 popped up. The pro tip that appeared on the bottom is you need to optimize your pin images before you upload them to Pinterest. So if you have ever noticed that your blog posts or the images from your blog that you're trying to pin to Pinterest are not appearing, that they're appearing as broken images or they're just appearing as gray blobs, they're not even appearing as anything, it's probably because you have not optimized your images. You need to go to jpegmini.com, run your images through an image optimizer, and just shrink the file size. Pinterest recently has been preferring about 150 KB in size for your Pinterest image. So 150 kilobytes of your image or less. I try to stay under 100 just so that I don't ever run into any problems within uploading my images to Pinterest. So here are some other Pinterest best practices that I want to go over with you guys. Again, I'm going to grab a little bit of water here. Okay, so here are some tips to remember. You need to pin at least 30 times a day. I know that seems like a lot, but you need to pin at least 30 times a day, 30 different pins in a day. You need to share 30% of your own content and 70% of other people's content. A lot of people will say it's more of a 20-80 rule. That's actually been the rule for the longest time, is 20-80, but I have learned that actually 30-70 has really worked best. And I have seen the best results out of a 30-70 rule. So you do not want to just pin your own content. You do not just want to pin your own blog posts, your own Instagram posts. You actually want to pin 70% of what you're pinning is other people's content. So you don't just want it just yours, 30% yours, 70% other people's content. Next, you need to follow similar accounts weekly. This is something I really put in my strategy recently, and I've actually noticed a huge success from it. You need to continuously following new accounts within Pinterest. The more you associate yourself with other similar high-quality accounts, the more likely you are actually going to be recommended in relation to those accounts. So when people follow those accounts, you might actually appear as a recommendation, or you might appear to their followers, and just you want to associate with similar like-minded accounts. I hope that makes sense. Next, you want to join and pin to group boards regularly. We already talked a little bit about group boards. I don't want to talk about them too much here. You also want to stay specific to your niche. So you don't want to be a content hoarder. You want to be a content creator. And that just means that since I talk about digital marketing, it wouldn't make sense for me to have a board about beauty, about travel, about food, about fashion, about photography. All of that just wouldn't make any sense because it's not specific to my niche. If I really niche down within Pinterest, and you guys already saw my boards, I mean, I showed you 9 boards, and the majority of them all had blogging in the title. They were all very blog specific. It's because I really niched down. And I share what I am special at. I share what I am educated in, what I want to talk about. If you are a lifestyle blogger, this is where you can have fun. And I recommend for people who are trying to establish themselves as a brand. So as bloggers, we're really trying to establish ourselves as a brand. But as a food blogger, stay specific to food. As a beauty blogger, stay kind of specific to beauty. You can go a little bit outside of your realm. But especially for lifestyle bloggers, what you would want to do is kind of treat your Pinterest like a magazine. So if you could create a magazine for your brand, what would you share? What categories, what pages would you have in your magazine? and think about it that way. So you can talk about travel, you can talk about fashion, you can talk about photography, you can talk about Instagram accounts that you like. I mean, you can really talk about just about anything as a lifestyle blogger, as long as you like it. So it's specific to you. You want to make sure that you're staying specific to you or specific to your niche. For most people, I recommend your niche, but I know lifestyle bloggers and some other bloggers out there can really just go and have a little bit of fun with Pinterest. The last thing I want to recommend to you guys is you would want to automate your Pinterest account. I highly recommend automating your Pinterest account. So if you decide to automate your Pinterest account, make sure that you are pinning manually as well. What does that mean? So I use Tailwind to automate my Pinterest account because I don't have time to pin 30 different pins a day. I'm not just going to sit on Pinterest every single day and pin, because that could waste up to 2 hours a day. That's not on my schedule. It's not going to help me be productive, and it's not going to help me create a profitable blog business. So I use Tailwind to help automate my account. So I have pins going out regularly on Pinterest every single day, but I also make sure that I go within Pinterest on my own and I am sharing random pins manually. It just shows Pinterest that I am also active. I am engaged in the platform. I'm not just trying to automate it and let it just do its thing for me. I'm actually giving back to Pinterest in a sense by being on there manually and pinning manually. So that's one of the things I would recommend, is not only following accounts every week, try to follow like 2 new accounts every week, but also try to pin a few pins manually within Pinterest. Extra tips for success: perform Pinterest keyword research. I have another video about Pinterest keyword research that you guys can go ahead and watch. I will include that in the info box that just popped up right now. You will also want to learn Pinterest SEO. Pinterest SEO is huge for your success on Pinterest. It goes along with keyword research, but it talks about so much more to how to optimize your Pinterest account, because just like any other search engine, just like Google, you want to perform search engine optimization. That's what SEO stands for. You want to perform search engine optimization, and on Pinterest, you really want to perform Pinterest SEO. So that's important to learn. If you guys want to learn more about Pinterest SEO, I will include it in the description bar down below. I do have a guide for you guys and a blog post so you guys can learn more about that. And lastly, you want to use Pinterest analytics to see what blog posts are most successful, and then create similar content. This is huge. Let me actually jump over to my Pinterest analytics, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit into my Pinterest analytics and how you can see what content's working and what similar content you can create around it to create more of a success for yourself. You can get to your Pinterest analytics by just clicking this analytics button up here. Once you have a Pinterest business account, you will have analytics and ads right up the top here. So that's how you can really tell if you have a Pinterest business account, is if you have either of these options. I just clicked on analytics and overview, and that is what got me here. This is just a general overview of what's happening within my account within the last 30 or so days. So down at the bottom, it shows top pins in the last 30 days from my profile. This is just my Pinterest profile overview. This is my potential reach overview. And then this is my activity on Pinterest, or activity from thecontentbug.com. This is actually my website activity. So I'm going to actually show you, all of those are broken out right here. So the first one was profile, the next one was people you reach, and the last one was website. I'm going to click on the website option just to show you guys what I'm talking about. So I shared this little snippet a few slides earlier, and I'm sure these numbers have changed by now because it has been a few days since I took that screenshot. So these numbers have changed, but this shows just the top 5 blog posts that are performing the best right now, or actually it's just the top 5 pins that are performing the best on Pinterest. The first one is how I grew my Pinterest account from 7K to 100K monthly viewers in 2 months. The next one is tips to create more successful Instagram stories, 5 practical ways to monetize your blog, how I monetize my blog within my first year. This one is actually the exact same as the first one because it is technically a separate pin. It leads to the exact same place, but it is a separate pin. It's really weird how Pinterest does that. I've heard that they're trying to work on making just one large pin so it all just goes to the same place. But for right now, when someone repins and then another person repins, that second repin creates a new pin altogether. It's very confusing. I don't know why they do that. And the last one is what it really costs to own a blog, how much I spent on my blog in 1 year. So these are my top 5 pins that are performing the best. Really, it's just my top 4 blog posts. So I would look at these 4 blog posts and I would say, hey, are there any similarities here? What's going on? So the first one is how I grew my Pinterest account, tips for success, 5 practical ways. So that's a list post. What it really costs to own a blog, how much I spent. So the one thing I noticed is this pin down at the bottom, what it really costs to own a blog, and how I grew my Pinterest are both personal blog posts in the sense that they're written about my experiences. So I could tell that those are performing well. And then this Instagram might be a hot topic. That might be why that one's performing well. And then this is a list post. I expect list posts to perform well. The reason I actually wrote this blog post was because one of my other blog posts, how I grew so many Instagram followers, was actually a top performing blog post on Pinterest. And I said, hey, if that's working, let's see if I can grow my Pinterest account and give some tips there. And this blog post, has gone viral. It was actually promoted by a company that I talked about in the blog post. I did not promote it. They paid to promote it. That promotion is a few months done with. That was a long time ago. And this is just how it's performing organically now. It's performing extremely well. But I wrote this post specifically because of something that I realized through my Pinterest analytics. I also, when I realized that this post was performing so well, how I grew from 7K to 100K, I decided to write a new blog post about how I grew my Pinterest account from 100K to 600K. So I am really capitalizing on what's performing well on Pinterest for me, and I'm writing blog posts around that. And I plan on writing more blog posts similar to creating successful Instagram stories. That's performed really well. I'm not sure if it's just because of Instagram stories. Instagram stories is a hot topic right now, but I'm thinking about creating more posts around that. And then how to monetize your blog. Bloggers are always looking to find new ways to monetize their blogs because monetizing your blog as a blogger can be very difficult. So that's exactly why this is performing well. But it also, in a sense, so it says how I monetize my blog within a year. So this post, as well as the last one and the top one, are all about my personal experiences. It's not just me providing tips. It's talking about what I did. And I think people have really enjoyed that. And that's why those are performing the best. So that's how you can really use Pinterest analytics to your advantage. And that is it for this class. So if you guys want to join me for the next TCB masterclass, I am going to be talking about how to take and edit your own Instagram photos to create a cohesive Instagram theme. I'm going to be walking you guys exactly through the process that I do when I take my Instagram photos, the exact process I use when I edit my Instagram photos, how I plan out my feed, the apps that I use, and a lot more. So that class will be going live next week, Friday, March 2nd at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this is it for this class. My throat is sore from talking so much, so I hope you guys learned a lot about Pinterest, and I will see you guys back here in another video. Bye, guys.